My boyfriend went on a rant about women losing their looks at 30, and had a meltdown when he found out my friend is older than he thought. I, 28F, have been dating my boyfriend Mike, 30M, for about 4 months and everything has been great up until now. This post is gonna make Mike sound kind of crazy, but up till now he's been the nicest, most laid-back guy I've ever dated. About a week ago I was on a Zoom call with 2 of my friends, who we will call Annie and Sarah. Sarah is 27, Annie is 36. I was talking to Annie and Sarah and Mike leaned over my shoulder to say hello. Because of the pandemic he hasn't met either of them in person yet, and it was his first time actually meeting Annie at all. I wanted him to get to know my friends a bit, so I invited him to sit next to me and stick around. Sarah was talking about her dating woes and how the pandemic has made it harder to date than ever. Mike made this weird joke about how Sarah needs to find a guy quick because at 30 she's gonna hit the wall and no man will want her anymore. He said it in this joking voice, but both Annie and Sarah looked weirded out. I was too, to be honest. Mike's never said anything like that before. I guess Mike picked up on the awkwardness because he started trying to explain himself and started saying all this stuff about how women age like milk and it's not the same for guys, and men tend to date younger because after 30 they hold all the cards and can pick and choose. Annie said I haven't had any trouble meeting men, and Mike said just wait until you hit 30 and lose your looks, it's all downhill from there. Annie just kind of laughed, and I had to tell Mike that she's 36. And obviously hasn't lost her looks if he's mistaking her for a 20-something-year-old. I said it kind of jokingly, but Mike just went silent and then walked off into my bedroom and slammed the door. That night and ever since then he's been very moody and short with me, and keeps making passive-aggressive comments about how I'm always against him and never have his back. We've never even had an argument before this, so I don't know where that's coming from. I've tried to bring up the Annie thing several times and he either clams up and refuses to talk about it, or turns it back into me, Annie and Sarah ganging up on him and bullying him, which I don't think any of us did. The rest of the time he's just very short with me and keeps picking fights over tiny stupid things like my tone of voice being wrong. What do I do here? I really want to talk about what happened and about his views on women and men and aging because that's kinda concerning. I don't understand why my sweet, cool boyfriend has suddenly transformed into this weirdo because he got politely corrected once. How should I solve this? Relevant comments. Commenter number 1. Lol, he sounds like a sexist dummy and that he's upset he got proven wrong. OP. What's weird is he's never shown any hint of being sexist before this. If you'd asked me before all this I would have told you he was a very modern and progressive guy, and it's not like we've never discussed things where he could have shown these kind of views before. We discussed stuff like abortion and women's reproductive rights early on, and he was all about a woman's right to choose, for example. This just seems like it came from nowhere. Commenter number 2. Once I heard the phrase when people show you who they really are, believe them, it changed my life. Listen to who he is showing you he is. OP, I think I'm going to take your advice. It makes me sad because he really seemed so great up until now, but I guess this is a lesson to me that you can't always trust the first impression you get of someone. I texted him that I want to talk, so I guess either he can respond and we can have an actual adult breakup in person, or he can keep ignoring me and get dumped by text.